Absolutely love seeing, talking with and working with individuals who, or teams or businesses who've unlocked their potential and moved from being good to great. And my guest this week has done just that. TRN member Sarah Grace has led the KC Group through an inspiring transformation to being the market-leading, profitable, reputable and purpose-led business it is today. Absolutely loved our chat with Sarah, just getting under the skin of the why and the how. Really inspiring. A massive welcome to the TRM podcast, Sarah Grace, Managing Director at the KC Group. Sarah, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you, Gordon. Good to see you too.
So just for anybody that doesn't know you, and they should, just quick headline about the business you run.
So my company is KC Group. We rebranded a couple of years ago now. So we are most prominently known as Kate & Co. But I bought the business off somebody called Kate a number of years ago. So there'd been no Kate for a long time. So we thought it was time for a change. So we now are KC Group, and we're 25 years old. So we've been around for a while, and we recruit into HR, finance, and business support and payroll that slots right in the middle of that. So those are our sectors. Love it.
Right. So you've been going 25 years. I want to get under the skin of the business, the culture you've built, which I absolutely love, what you've done from an ED&I point of view. How come you won pretty much every award at the recent Recruiter Insider Best Service Awards, and a few other things. But so just, and I've known you maybe 5 or 6 years now, and it's just been phenomenal evolution of the business that you've got. What do you think underpins the success of the business of the last few years?
I think it's having the right people that share your vision. I think earlier on in my career, I think I've always had a vision. I don't think I had that planned out and communicated that enough. So if I think looking back now, I think I would have had more growth and more success and more trajectory if I'd had a plan and I'd communicate it, because I assume that everybody's in my head and that they're on my they're on my page and they're coming with me. But yeah, it's down to the people really. And I think I'm so fortunate. I wouldn't say I'm lucky, because you make your own luck, but I'm fortunate that I've created a team with some incredible people that all share the same goal as me.
So I'm gonna touch on that a little bit more, about this concept of vision and planning. As you know, it's one of my things I obsess about a little bit.
Yeah.
So you had a cracking business. What difference? And you've always been, ever since I've known you, you've really cared about the team that you work with and the people you work with. What difference does it make for you running your business, really having a clear vision and a plan?
So I think I know if you don't have a clear vision and a plan, you don't get anywhere, because you don't know what you're achieving. And naturally, as salespeople and recruiters, we're very target orientated. We like winning. But just because you're winning in your own head, and if you don't verbalize that and visualize that and communicate that, you can, I've never had a year where I've turned over less money or made more profit, and that's my measure. But not many people would know that, because you don't share that outside your business all the time. You don't say, yeah, this is our profit, this is our turnover, this is my vision. So I think in terms of not having a plan has been massively detrimental to me, because I think my company would be 50 times the size and I'd turn over 50 more times the money that I do, had I have had a plan back in the day. Yeah. But I don't regret it, and I don't look back and think, oh my God, I missed out on so much, because I've enjoyed every minute of every day of my life and my job, and I'm so incredibly lucky. But now to have a plan, and a vision and a goal and a target, and understand how we're going to break that back and who's going to be responsible for delivering that, that's quite empowering. That's really exciting. And I have to say, COVID, I know COVID was an absolute nightmare, and I cried in a corner, and I was working 80-hour weeks, and it was horrific. It was probably one of the best times for me, because it really enabled me to think about, who am I? What do I want? Who am I looking after? Who are my people? What's our message? What do we want to be famous for? What's the shit that we're doing that we don't want to do anymore because it's not making us money? stay in your lane, Sarah. Stop being all things to all people, because I like all people and I like all things and I like a challenge. So I think I spent a lot of time saying yes to things that I shouldn't have said yes to. And I think if I had a plan to underpin that, I wouldn't have deviated from the plan.
You would have what? You would have more focus, because you're saying
More, yeah, million percent. I would have focused more on what I wanted, because I would have written it down. Because if I write something down and I communicate that, then I will deliver it. So yeah.
It is interesting though. I mean, I've onboarded hundreds of members into TRN, and there's very, very few that have really got the clarity of vision beyond the numbers and beyond the aspiration. And yet every time you get somebody like yourself who's running a very cool business and you say, I've got that stuff, and it makes a massive difference to the engagement, to the focus, to the direction, the accountability. It just makes life easier, doesn't it?
It does, Gordon, but I didn't find it easy. I have to be honest. I did like buck against the trend a little bit, because I was like, well, I'm all right. I'm happy. I make a lot of money. I've got a nice turnover. I've got a brilliant team. You know, what do you mean? I've got to have a plan. Because once, you know, you always do what you've always done. You don't know the difference. But when you have a plan and you execute it, your wins are greater. Your success is more divine. So you have to do it at first, because when you are passionate about your job and you're happy, and you know, I'm not sitting here I was never sitting there from a place thinking, you know, oh my God, my business is on my knees, I need to do something different, I can't attract staff, I can't hire, I can't retain. I can, but I wasn't growing. I wasn't going in the direction that I know that the business is capable of, and that it deserves. And the growth in terms of the ambitions of the people in the room, yeah, they're happy earning 6-figure salaries. But what if they doubled and trebled that and we grow the team? So, you know, it's hard sometimes to to change something, fix something when it's not broken, I suppose. But I've learned an awful lot, and I've had a lot of guidance and support, as you well know. And I'm in a much better place for it. So I'm really excited, because
one of the things you did around getting clarity is you shrunk your focus.
1,000,000%.
I think you had 5 divisions, effectively.
6
was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. What difference has that made to
massive,
to your clients, your candidates, and to your team?
All of it. So I wish one of the questions I know you're going to ask me is, what would you tell your younger self if you could? And it would be just stick to what you're good at. You know, I think I am naturally a people pleaser. And when you've got clients phoning you and saying, "Oh, Sarah, you're brilliant," you know, will you find me an IT director? And you're like, it's gonna ruin my life. I'm gonna be really unhappy doing it, but I know I can do it, so I can. Yeah, I'll do that for you. And I think that deviation, those attractive cul-de-sacs that you go down, you know, it's great at the time, but it doesn't keep you on the path that you should be going on. And you know, I think, you know, we had manufacturing engineering, I've had IT, NHS. You know, we was on the framework, you know, the Health Trust Europe framework agreement, and we did well at it. You know, we've never not made money in the sectors that we've recruited in, but the sectors that we really, really make money in and excel at is HR, finance, payroll, and business support. You know, filling those short-term gaps when somebody goes, oh my God, my payroll manager is off and I'm in the crap, I need you. And you're like, yeah, I can get somebody for you, don't worry about it. And you fill a brilliant hole with a brilliant company, with the right person at the right time, and there's a value in that. But you know, I'm not an IT recruiter, and I'm definitely not a manufacturing and engineering recruiter. I can do it, and I'll place whatever we set our mind to, and the team are very much of that ilk. So, you know, not being a jack of all trades and really deciding what you want to be famous for and being really good at it. And when you look at, you know, that your profit margins in those sectors, which I hadn't done before I had some very wise wordedly advice, saying, really, what you're doing all that for? Because, you know, you want to keep people happy, and you want to fill all their vacancies, but you can't. There's better marketing recruiters out there than me. There's definitely better IT recruiters out there than me. And I don't even want to talk about manufacturing and engineering because I don't know it, but I can do it. You know, we've got a network that spreads over 25 years, and I probably could make a call today to somebody that could potentially do a job in that area. So it's really, really hard it was hard for me to, like pull that back and stop saying yes.
When I look at your business, you're very successful. I know you look after clients, but you do some stuff really, really well. There are people who are running businesses who talk about stuff and maybe don't do them quite as well. Then you get those ones who maybe don't talk about anything at all, and then you get the ones who talk about it and do it. What do you think? And being a TRM member for ages, you've worked with lots of other recruiters. You know lots of other recruiters. You know the industry back to front.
Yeah.
What do you think is special about your business, or what do you think you do that helps you stand out?
I think there's a couple of things that that we do that really stands out. I think our ED&I, we don't just talk about it, we live it, we breathe it, we sell it, we embrace it internally. I've got probably one of the most diverse teams ever, and everybody can be authentic, they can all be themselves. And I think that really creates a culture where they would literally line the road for each other, and me included, because there's no hidden agenda. It's very, very transparent. So ED&I is definitely one.
So I just want to touch on that one because again, when we've surveyed members and said where are you on the journey, everyone's at a different stage. Nobody's quite cracked it because there's always more to do, and there's some people everyone gets it, and maybe some haven't started out on the journey.
Yeah.
What do you think? What turned your business from a business who wanted to do it for all the right reasons to being where you are now, where you are having conversations because of everything that you've done around you now? What were the headline around the journey?
Headline is understanding what people, like exactly what you've just said, actually, Gordon. ED&I, everyone's like, yeah, we know it, we get it. You don't do it. You don't know where your starting point is. So I think understanding your demographic, understanding the clients that you're working with, understanding their challenges, understanding, if you want to break certain ceilings in terms of attracting women into tech. We've done a load of work with women in tech. We work within quite a white affluent area. So getting people of different backgrounds and, and different class, not just class settings, but, getting people that are from different minorities to apply for jobs is a challenge. So why is that? So we've been doing this now for quite a long time, and data is key. So data is key. So if a client ever talks to me about their ED&I, I say, go away, don't tell me what you do, give me the figures. Where are you at in terms of your male to female leaders? Where are you in terms of your gender pay gap? Where are you in terms of your ethnicity hiring? Where are you in terms of, underrepresented disabilities? Where are you in terms of, your sexuality and your gender orientation? And they go, oh, I don't know. Well, we'll go and find out, and then we can talk about all these things, because we can talk about how you can be better at what you do and attracting these people. But until you know where you are, you don't know where you want to get to. And I think there's a lot of companies that are like, yeah, we want to be diverse, we want to be inclusive. But inclusion starts with nailing your culture, because you can say you want to be inclusive, but if you're all white men that are interviewing at a certain level, you're not going to get the type of response that you need to bring these people in. And you've got to know what your pipeline is. So, I've got quite a strong opinion about, when you anonymise CVs, and if you don't know what's applying, if you don't know what you're interviewing, you're not going to be able to change the demographic of the people that are applying. So you've got to really start down here rather than up here. And I think a lot of companies start with the top line. This is where we're at. This is where we want to be. And you're like, well, let's just take it down a few steps, because there's certain terminology and wording that you can use, and they just don't do it.
See, I know you've developed the expertise in-house, and I know that you did it for all the right reasons. On your website, you talk about clients, candidates, jobs, and diversity and inclusion. So you're front and center, you're saying this is really important. From a commercial, I'm going to ask you the commercial impact of genuinely being an expert, where you can have more strategic, more relevant conversations, where you actually educate and inform your client base. What difference does that make?
So if you were going to ask me how much money I've made out of ED&I, because we sell that as an add-on thing for, you know, commercially, I would say I can't quantify it. But the fact that it's embedded in our process. So when every job that we recruit for, every company that we work with, it's part of our value added. So commercially, it sets us apart, Gordon. We win business day in, day out, because it's not something that we sell as you pay us £15,000 for this, you know, because I will advise you on your ED&I. So it's not a commercial money, you know, it's not a commercial avenue for us. It's something that we do, and we turn away business. I mean, I turn away business if I don't think that they are the right, you know, mindset for us, and they don't have the aligning values. So I'd say commercially we make it's made a massive difference to our business, but I probably couldn't nail it down in pounds and pence.
Yeah, and I know that's not why you did it, but equally, I'm guessing, and having been client side for a long time myself, from your reputation as genuine experts, your expertise, your reputation as adding value in terms of the client's thinking, me trusting that you're more than words, you actually got it in terms. That must be quite. All right, EDI, that's number one. Yeah. I know you were going to say to move on to the second one. What's the second one?
Oh, remind me of the question again, because I got all wrapped up in EDI.
You did. No, the second one was, what is it that genuinely makes you special or stand out?
Oh, I think it's we've always believed that we're brilliant. I think Recruiter Insider, and you asked me a question around that. We've always known that we were good, and we believed, because we spoke to our candidates and we spoke to our clients and we got their feedback. We've now got it in black and white. So for all the years that I've done this job, I've never been able to quantify, you know, in percentages and response rates and fill rates and at every step of our process. So Recruiter Insider really, thanks Justin, has really revolutionised our business, because it actually quantifies what we do. And, you know, it's a brilliant thing. I mean, when the Recruiter Insider results come out, I find it really, really hard, because I know I expect it a little bit, and I know I shouldn't, and it seems a little bit conceited, and it's not that. But I know that we are giving amazing service and amazing feedback. You know, there's not a part of the process that we don't care about, and it's just in everything that we do. So having that level of feedback and constantly striving to be better, because we do get you know, people saying you could be better at this.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
But you know, and we want to constantly make our process even better than it is.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that yardstick, because I've never had it before. So that sets us apart. I think the other thing,
just on that one, because again, that really interested me. So many of our members actually do really good stuff, and they do, whether it's collectively or they have individuals who are phenomenal in terms of looking after clients and candidates. The difference is when you've got the data to back it up, that creates the trust, doesn't it, with the clients. They not only like you, but they can see from the data that it's really happening, and that's a different conversation to saying you should work with us because we're really good.
Yeah, but we're not just telling them.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's impartial, and it's in figures, and it's, you know, it's actually metrics that are fed into the whole part of our workflow. So it's not me phoning up and going, "Hey, we're brilliant, come and work with us." You know, it's actually something that's quantifiable, and it speaks for itself. And I wish I had it earlier.
just remind me how many awards you won at the annual Service Excellence Awards. I think it was 3 or 4.
No, so out of 6, we got 4. And we were runner-up in the other 2. We were second in the other 2.
All right, I'll give you
so we got so out of 6, we won 4, and we were second place in the other 2. Yeah. And we've just won the last quarter as well. All right. Yeah, so that was the annual, but yeah.
But they were the big ones that you were winning. It wasn't like best animated movie award. It was the big ones.
Yeah. Service excellence is the best. So we got service excellence on candidate and client. And overall, so yeah, the big ones.
That's who people remember, right? Have you got a third one, or are those the 2 big ones?
I think the third one, again, what, you know, what makes us different is our people. You know, I mean, I've taken some real wild punts on the people that we've hired. You know, most of the guys that work here now don't sit in the divisions that they interviewed for. You know, I'm a firm believer in looking at people's skill set and what they're good at rather than what they've done and what they can bring. And I think having that, you've got to be versatile, and you've got to bounce, and you've got to pivot, and you've got to move quickly. And I think our ability to do that, and I've done it in several. I like a bit of adversity, and you know, when the chips are down and your back's up the wall, I do my most amazing things. And I think that sets us apart. I think that ability to think, oh God, the world is ending, but not for me.
How are you measuring that?
Well, staff retention.
Your team's okay, retention.
Retention, the money that they're earning in commission every month. That's a brilliant measure. That's my favourite day of the month. My favourite day of the month is commission day, and I love every minute of it, because, you know, we genuinely, and I know it sounds really corny and really shit, but we change people's lives. You know, when they're taking home like 9, 10 in excess of that in commission every month, £1,000, not £10, you know, and they're working and they're doing something that they love, and they're in an environment where they can be themselves, and we don't work stupid hours, and, you know, we work 9 till 5, and to be honest with you, cartwheel down the street if you want, if you're hitting your targets, I'm not bothered. I feel really, really proud, and I go home every day and my husband says to me, Jesus Christ, why do you have to cartwheel to the door? And it's because, you know, we've got a brilliant team, and he's like, you're really annoying, really annoying. So pivoting, making sure that people are happy, and just having a damn good time.
Love it. Life's too short. Is there any? There's 3.
Yeah.
Those are the big 3.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. I mean, I think last time I looked, it was 83% of exclusive relationships, which is pretty phenomenal. Which I guess comes down to that your people, and B, the service you give. It as you were talking, you know, it reminded me. There's a guy who wrote a book back in 1994. It was called The Service Profit Chain. I can't remember the name of the guy. It was so bleedingly simple. If like with most business books, you can probably wheedle it down into a couple of pages if you want to. And I hope the author's not listening to this. He'd be a bit upset. This, all he was saying was, guys, this is the service profit chain. If you look after your people really, really well, and obviously get the right people, guess what? They can look after your customers really, really well, and guess what? You'll make a load of money.
1,000,000%.
And which is just what you've been describing.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think, you know, well, a happy team that feels valued, rewarded, included, excited. Then, you know, I remember, and I'm going to say this now, before I owned my company, I made a lot of money working for somebody else, and I had a lovely time. But I was a bit of a monster, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would have liked working with me.
Really?
Yeah, I think I was very single-minded. I was a recruiter, I was a consultant, and it was all about, you know, profitability. And I remember sitting there and thinking, oh, if I can have 2 other people doing what I'm doing, that's 200% growth. I can have 4 people doing what I'm doing. I can have 10 people doing what I'm doing, you know, but they've all got to believe what you believe, and they've all got to behave in the way that you behave, and they've all got to be in your head, I suppose, and they've all got to know what's in it for them. You know, what do they need to do to get bigger and better? And I wish I'd known that a long time ago, because I think I fought with myself quite a lot. But yeah, you've got to share in your knowledge, you've got to share in your vision.
And I know and the other thing that comes across every time I talk to you, Sarah, is, and I know you've had some rubbish days and some less good days. You've been up and down, but you just focus on enjoying the journey as well.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Do you know what? My gift to myself is, I don't want to work with people that I don't enjoy their company. That's the first thing, because I'm a human as well. Yeah. And I remember sitting there a few years ago, and I remember thinking, what the hell am I doing? Everybody else is living their best life, and I'm having an absolute horrific time. This isn't what this is about. So, you know, I think, you know, it's a gift to myself that I work with people that I know and respect and love and want to spend my time with. but give them all the tools, let them grow, show them, train them, look after them, nurture them. Some people will embrace that, some people won't, because not everybody can do what we do. Recruitment's hard. You know, you've got to be a certain type of person. You know, you've got to be massively resilient. Some people aren't. But yeah, I think number one, life's, I think you said it earlier, life's too short and it can be shit. You know, recruitment is herding cats. We are dealing with the biggest movable commodity in the world. You know, you can't control the uncontrollable. So if I have to deal with candidates and clients to a certain extent that don't always do what they need to do, I need my team to be the best people that I want to spend my time with.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Right, let's go back and let's share a few lessons learned. So you talked about one, which is be less of a people pleaser.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
You talked about one was get a vision and a plan.
Yeah.
That was something that you would have done differently maybe from start. What are the things when you look back?
Tech.
Yeah.
Oh, Gordon, we've been through our tech journey, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that doesn't know me that might be watching this, what you don't know is, you know, back in when we went into lockdown in 2020, and I can't believe I'm only 3 years out of that, we walked out of this office with our hard drives under our arm. There wasn't a laptop in sight. My CRM was all based on a server. We weren't even cloud-based. It was an absolute bloody nightmare. We had mobile phones. We didn't have anything that was cloud-based or anything like that. So you couldn't log in. You couldn't dial into the server. So tech, I would say, as somebody that runs a business in recruitment, if you do not embrace tech, you will get left behind. And there's lots of, you know, very attractive, snazzy, wonderful bits and pieces of technology out there, and you can get drawn in by them because they employ some really good salespeople, let me tell you. But I think you need to understand what your business needs, understand what you want and what you can manage, because paying for tech that you don't use can be catastrophic, and I've learned that. But, you know, AI, automation, if you don't automate part of your process, then you will get left behind, because, you know, automation won't replace us as recruiters, but people that don't embrace automation as part of their recruitment process will get left behind. Yeah. So you've got to be making sure that it's efficiency. You know, before lockdown, I had an office manager, 3 compliance administrators, 2 receptionists, you know, and not that our business model has completely changed. We was interviewing like 300 people a month in this office. We don't need to do that now because technology makes the world a smaller place, you know, so you've got to evolve, constantly evolve, and technology is the way that you do that, and you've got to embrace it.
You're a great case study for that, actually, because you're running a business based on people and hard work and experience, and then you just went on this journey, didn't you? I just remember this journey, and you kept on changing it, and you got the tech stack, and then you had a smile.
Yeah, and I've got a lovely tech stack, and, you know, I mean, my aim for the next year is to have no more tech, because we've got enough. We've got to make sure that we're using what we do. I think the danger there, though, is when you commit to, and from experience, when you can commit to a piece of tech and they don't invest in that, it becomes outdated very, very quickly. So you've got to be really careful who you're hanging your commitment to, because you've got to make sure that they are constantly looking at what they do, because it becomes outdated and somebody else has got a new toy round the corner and you're in a very, very restrictive contract with somebody that's not investing in their platform. So just be careful of that.
Listen, I know you can't have favourite children or favourite members of staff, but what's your favourite bit of tech?
Oh God, it's got to be Recruiter Insider. Sorry, not sorry.
Don't apologise to me.
No, but the reason that I say that is because it pulls everything that we do together. It's almost like the cherry on the cake for us. You know, we've got all of the ingredients that we throw into the pot to make the cake. We've always made a brilliant cake, Gordon, but we've never ever told anybody about it. We've never had the stats behind it to say we are awesome. So Recruiter Insider is my cherry.
You've never had the cherry on the cake?
No, I've never had the cherry on the cake, and I've now got a cherry. So yeah, we're still not very good at shouting about it, if I'm being honest, because we're crap at social media, because we're good recruiters. And I do now have a marketing person, which we're pleased to know about. So we're a million times better than we used to be, but we still could do with letting people know how good we are. But it's nice to know that we know, and our clients know, and our candidates know. So if you're on our radar, you know how good we are, and there's no reason not to work with us.
Exactly, and that's proved by your exclusivity stats.
Yeah.
And your growth. No, absolutely love it. Good. Right, a couple of quick fire questions for you.
Oh,
Sarah.
okay.
So you starting out in 1998 as a career consultant at Office Angels.
Yes.
You've had this career in recruitment. And you're now running this very cool, very successful, highly reputable business now. Lessons to your younger self.
Lots and lots and lots and lots. I think the first thing that I would say is, don't, like, you do you, Sarah. You do you. You just do you. Stop looking over the fence. Stop worrying about what they're doing. And all of you, I know a lot of people that work in recruitment, and I always have done. And I remember when 19, 15 years ago, I used to think, oh my God, that person's left and they've gone to that company, and oh my God, who gives a rat's ass? Do you know what I mean? You just do you. The company down the road. I mean, I've got a number of friends that are TRN members, and I respect and love their businesses. A lot of time for them, lots of kudos to them. But they do them, you do you. And I think, just concentrate on what you're good at and your vision and your value, and don't emulate anybody else. Just rock your thing.
It's such an interesting one, that, because again, when we onboard new members, and the question is, what are you doing it and why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
There's quite often the thinking evolves from something different to something else, if that makes sense. And that journey, what is your path and why, is a really interesting one. But the other thing I loved was we hear a lot of people talking about authenticity at the moment, but because you're a people pleaser, and I'm a shocking people pleaser, but I'm learning that you lose some of that authenticity if you're doing things for others.
There's another one thing that I really, really, really wish I'd done instead of gone the other way. And it's do what you love, do what makes you happy, rather than what you feel that you need to do for the business.
Okay.
So I'm a business developer, Gordon. I love business developing. I love cold calling. Well, not so much cold calling today. There's always a reason, you've got to do your research. But I love the win. And for a number of years, I didn't do that because I was managing a big team and training them and watching them win. And I'm at my happiest when I'm business developing. And I've been doing that now for the last couple of years. And that's a massive part of my job. So I spend 40% of my time with my team, and 40% of my time with my clients and BD. And that's my happy place. And then 20% when the world blows up, I'm putting out all the fires. But I wish my ratios have not always been so clear.
Yeah.
And, I've got a very, very lovely friend and coach that I work with that has made me see that. And my business is better for it.
Yeah.
I need to be business developing. I need to be selling. That's what I need to do.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Final question. What's inspiring you? Who's inspiring you?
Tony Kokoza.
Tony Kokoza.
Yeah. I'm gonna name her. It's not. I hope I'm not shaming her, but yes, she's really, really keeping my feet on the ground, and she's inspiring me and making me think differently and pulling me in, reining me in when I'm going, oh, I'm going to do that. She goes, don't do that. What are you thinking? But she is massively inspirational, and she talks my language and she gets me, and she's massively inspiring.
You won't get another bigger fellow Tony Kokoza fan than me. She's an exceptional, amazing woman. Sarah, thank you. Absolutely love that. And it's just so good actually to have for half an hour, 40 minutes, just having a proper catch up, and it's on a podcast.
No, we tend to pass each other, don't we? We'll catch you soon.
I'm going to come back to Solihull.
Yeah, definitely. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, well, listen, massive congratulations on the business you built. I think it's very, very cool, and you do it with a smile on your face, which I love.
Well, thanks, Gordon. Thanks for your time.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Don't forget to follow the TRM podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for a new exciting episode every week.